give y'all some info on some cases recently in the last few days, and we want to talk about some of the problems we're having in Dothan right now, and throughout the county. To start off with, November 29th, we executed 3 search warrants in the 600 block of Tacoma Street. Recovered during the search warrants is approximately 115 grams of marijuana, 142 grams of synthetic marijuana, 32 grams of cocaine, 10 grams of crack cocaine, and approximately 4 grams of methamphetamine. We recovered 5 guns out of these search warrants. One of the so-called 9mm pistol rifle type weapon was one of the ones taken out of the Money Miser burglary a few months ago. December 1st, we conducted a traffic stop on North Range Street in Monument, and there was a 14-year-old in the car, which we're not allowed to give the names, and we won't. But the 14-year-old was removed from the car, and he had in possession on himself a .22 caliber handgun. That is totally illegal in the state of Alabama. The juvenile was charged with possession of a firearm and was transported to Southeast Diversion Center. Also, on December 1st, the vice unit was out and they made the following arrest, and I may not have the names exactly pronounced. Shamara Jones, 19 years old of Slocum, charged with possession of marijuana, second, $500 bond. Malik Williams, 19 years old, Hollywood, Florida, carrying a pistol without a permit, $500 bond. Possession of marijuana, second, $500 bond. Caleb Jones, 41 of Dothan, possession of synthetic drugs, $1,000 bond. And a Talvin Mackey, 21 years old of Dothan, possession of drug paraphernalia, $300 bond. On these cases, the vice units have been out and our special response team are out working. I want to say this, I've been in touch with Chief Will Benny with the Dothan Police Department. They're actively on board also. We are going to get on the streets, and I'm all for, you know, the gun laws have changed 4 times since 2012. Starting January, we have constitutional carry, which I'm good with. We still have permits. But I'm going to say this. With the events going on in Dothan right now, the Dothan Police Department and Houston County Sheriff's Office are going to be on the streets taking back these illegal possession of firearms. And when I say that, teenagers under the age of 21, really, especially 18, are not supposed to have handguns in their possession. You know, we experienced a week or so ago, 2 homicides by a 14-year-old, okay? We recovered another 14-year-old with a firearm in this traffic stop. Well, you know, you go back and start looking at it, I don't know where all this violence, where they're picking it up at. We have obtained a video that shows in the video multiple, appears to be very young teenagers with firearms. And it's like they're celebrating. Right now, we're going to, like I said, we're going to get on the streets, we're going to put all our units out there. We're still going to do our job, we're not violating nobody. We're asking for the community's support. But we are the ones that are legally possessing these handguns and firearms and doing these shootings. We're going to go after them, I'm telling you right now. We had a house the other night in Quincy where 2 subjects fired 50 rounds into a house and with a 7.62 by 39, basically an AK-47. We had a meeting this morning in Daleville. I talked to the chief up there. They had a house that got shot 70 times with a 7.62 by 39. These random acts of violence and doing these drive-by shootings has got to stop. It's not even safe for people to go out and eat or go to a mall without thinking about it. So all we're asking is your support. Just give us time, be patient, and let us do our jobs. You know, don't be first to criticize until you find out all the facts. And like I said, with Chief Will Benny, myself, my captains, my major, my chief deputy, his major, we're going to have our people out on the streets, and we're going to start making it noticeable what we're going to do. So.
You've been in law enforcement in Houston County for 44 years.
I'm in my 44th year.
Describe the relationship with the Houston County Sheriff's Office and Dothan Police Department today as compared to all those years.
We've always, I've worked under multiple chiefs from over there. We've always had working relationships, but we always had a power struggle at the top. Right now, that's just me, it's just my opinion. My 44 years with this department is the best working relationship right now with the Dothan Police Department we've ever had. So.
Is this the worst you've seen it, Sheriff, in your 44 years, or where does this rank among, in your 44 years?
Where's what rank?
Where, like, the uptick in gun violence?
It was never like this. I mean, of course, we had a few shootings here and there, targeted shootings going after you, but these drive-bys with these high-capacity and multi-round weapons they're using, the rifles they're using today, the teenagers that, I don't know how you can be a parent and say, I'm not aware of my child being out there in a gang video or out there with a gun at 14 years old on the streets at night. How do you not know what he's doing? I hope it wakes up some eyes, and if they didn't know, I hope they start understanding why we're frustrated right now and why we're going to do what we're going to do. So.
Y'all's actions is based a lot of times off the intelligence information people provide, people calling and giving you information.
That's correct.
And the success of an operation is with people providing you information. Where do they call? What's a number they can call and give you information that they know?
Naturally, you can call 911, but if you're in the city, it's going to go to Dothan. And if you want to call Dothan, fine. If you want to call us, 677-480-4808. Tell them what you have, and they'll put you in touch with one of our ranking officers of that unit. And we will be glad to take information and tips on what's going on. I'm telling you, we got to stop this violence.
Sheriff, what do you believe is the root of the problem to why we are seeing this in Dothan and Houston County? I mean, speculation is, is among the young people. You mentioned that, it's the young, the young generation. So, why do you think that's the case?
Because I think a lot more stuff today, they have a lot more time in front of computers and games, and some of the games that's out there are strictly nothing but violence. And to them it's a game, but in real life they're living what they're sitting there watching and playing. They don't realize the consequences, what you're going to face if you jump out with a gun and don't get shot by an opposing member or a law enforcement officer. I mean, God knows we don't wake up every morning hoping we get to shoot somebody. But I care about my deputies, and I'm sure Chief Benny cares about his officers to protect them. But when it comes down to having illegal possession, there is no age limit. I'll say this, there is no bullets that can describe what color skin it's going to hit. Bullets will kill anybody, and we've experienced that.
How do you all, other than, getting out in the streets and working to, get rid of these illegal firearms, how do you all get involved, with the community? Because I've talked with mayor before, I talked with the commissioner before, and they talked about it's going to take a village, more than just the work that you all do with law enforcement, but it's going to take a village to help, get over this problem. So, what's you all's role in that? Okay,
first of all, I don't work for the mayor. Okay, I don't work for the county commission. I work for the people in Houston County. We want the support of our administrators. Chief wants his support from his commission. I want support from my commission. We want the support from groups. Second time, Mothers Against Gun Violence. We're against gun violence. Help us. We have a Crime Stopper program. Nobody will find out who is giving us this information, but help us on some of these shootings to try to get these evil people off the street. I don't care how old they are. Help us get them off the street. You know, like I said, you got our numbers now. Don't wait till one of your family members becomes a victim before you decide to start trying to help others.
With the recent shootings that have involved younger people, even the parade shooter was 17, I believe, and the 14-year-old, of course. Do you think this is a situation where they're being influenced by older people they're trying to emulate, or do you think it's just a widespread problem and the people are just getting younger and younger?
Well, you know, we experienced some of this in my early years with some of the ones in Dothan that I still see. They've grown out of it. But for them to be at this age and that, I'm telling you, my opinion, that's just my opinion. That's not none of my deputies, none of the officers. It's these games they're playing, and there's stuff they're watching, and the way they're living these. I don't have a problem with music, whether you're country, rock and roll, or rap. But the lyrics that are in these songs are pushing violence. And they're living what they're listening and watching. They're letting it in their mind, they're living that moment, even though that's a game. They're not looking at, you're fixing to lose the rest of your life by being in detention and custody. But they don't look at that. They just look at, that's cool, that's what I saw the other day. I mean, when it comes down where you pull 14 years old and pull a gun out and kill 2 people standing in front of you, that's a problem. I grew up in a city in New Orleans, and yet there was a lot of violence there. But you know, if you don't get a hold of it before it starts, or you don't get a grasp on it once it started, you're not going to stop it. And that's why myself and Chief Benny and the police department and my deputies, that's why we said we're fixing to be out on the streets, and we're gonna make a stopping on it. And I can tell you this, and I'll say this. This is only me. This is only my department. You better not pull a gun out and shoot at one of my deputies, I'm telling you right now. You do, you're probably not going to make it.
The murders we've had, and you look at, there's no way law enforcement could have stopped those murders, because you didn't know a guy was going to pull a gun at the parade, or that 14-year-old was going to pull a gun and shoot 2 people. So the only way to stop it, if they're not correct, is the aggressive enforcement and stopping people and taking guns away, because really none of the murders they've had, y'all couldn't have prevented them.
We couldn't have. The only way you can prevent it if you had an early tip, something was fixing to happen, and you took immediate action. Proactive is a lot better than reactive. However, we don't get tips that there was an issue parade day between this group until it happened. And then once it happens, everybody in that area. I'll give you another example. We were at Regions Bank, Hodgesville Road in the Circle a couple weeks ago. One guy decides he's going to shoot the other guy, and I don't know how many rounds he let go at lunch hour traffic at the intersection of Hodgesville Road and the Circle. Now, how more people didn't get hit, it's a miracle. How more people didn't get hit in that parade is a miracle. You know, it's these ones that don't care. We want them off the streets.
So the public doesn't need to decide how important their information is. They need to provide the information to y'all, and let y'all decide how important that information is.
That is correct. That is correct. We're asking for your help. Help us make this where you can enjoy going out and eat with your family at nighttime in Dothan. And I'm not just saying that, it's in the county also. We had a murder out in the county the other day. You know, could we have prevented it? Absolutely not. Because we had no information on this incident or this particular suspect that he was going to do anything. So no, we couldn't have prevented it. I wish we could have. But if you're willing to help us, I think you'll see a difference. We're asking for help from the commission. The commission needs to support us, and ours does. And I'm sure the city will support them. You know, I can't tell you how much I need in my budget to get my deputies out on the street and make it safer in Dothan. If you can tell me that, I would really, really like you to tell me. But if we do run into a situation, I've always said, yeah, I learned the difference of what you need and what you get. what you really have money for, you don't just spend it, okay? But I do realize this. When you have bad situations going, you can't let money be an issue. You can't say, I can't put my guys out on the street because I'm running out of overtime when we got people getting killed. You can't say that, well, you know, maybe you should try something different. Tell me what I should try different, and I'll try it. All I'm saying is support us. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking the commission to support us. I'm asking the public, Mothers Against Gun Violence, any of these groups, help us make it safe where you or your family don't become a victim.
Do you know if any of this is gang-related?
Watching the video with the signs and stuff, I would say it is. Do I really know what portion or what faction of it? No, I don't. My guys may. I don't. But it's not your normal middle grade, elementary school kids. I know that.
How prevalent do you think just the illegal guns are out there in this community?
How what now?
How prevalent? I mean,
Well, it happens a lot. I mean, they stole a gun out of one of our marked units, broke the window out of it. Of course, if you know, well, I'm not going to get into that part because it'll reveal something we don't want. I'll tell you after. But they stealing the guns in burglaries and stuff and moving them on the street for drugs, or they're keeping them for their image that they want to project to the others out there that they hang with. Anybody else? Well, I appreciate y'all coming, and like I said, all we're asking for is some help. I think I can speak for Chief Benny, same with him. We're just asking the community to support us, help us. Help us stop this gun violence and all this stuff, shootings that's going on right now, where we can get back to our halfway normal life. Okay? I appreciate it. Thank you.